Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This is your SmackDown live video results and also your WWE main event spoilers. Alright, happy birthday goes to Scott Stafford. He turned 39 years old. Let the record show still disappointed that WWE Network doesn't end each day with a shirtless Scott Stafford hour. Certainly not disappointed. Killer Kowalski, aka Edward Spolnick, died at the age of 81 on August 30th, 2008. Longtime pro wrestler turned trainer, was a mentor to Triple H and other students, including Eddie Edwards, Kobe Kingston, China, Aaron Rex, formerly known as Wade Bear, Aaron Rex, what's his name in TNA now? I'll think of his name in a while. Damian Sandow, and also Fandango. The late J.C. Bailey, a.k.a. Joseph Carl Bailey Jr., died at the age of 27 on August 30th, 2010. The hardcore-style wrestler suffered a brain aneurysm in his sleep that was triggered by multiple concussions and brain trauma. Also, birthdays on the 31st. Jeff Hardy. He was born in 1977. Also on the 31st, Mickie James. She was born in 1979. Also on the 31st, Animal Hamaguchi. Advertised dark main event for WWE SmackDown Live was John Cena, Dean Ambrose, and Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins, Bray Wyatt, and AJ Styles. Stay tuned if there was any results for that. Deadline reports that Deadline.com reports that Allison Brie will star in Netflix's upcoming wrestling comedy GLOW, which was given a 10-episode straight-to-series order. It will be executive produced by Genji Cohen, from Orange is the New Black, and was created by Liz Flahive and Carly Mintz. It's inspired by the female wrestling promotion of the same name. The show is set in the 1980s and follows Ruth being Brie, a struggling actress who tries to live out her dream after joining the titular promotion, which broadcasts a weekly series about female wrestlers. Tara Herman will also executive produce with Live and Mintz as showrunners. The original wrestling series ran for 4 seasons from Las Vegas. It also featured sketches and songs in addition to wrestling, which brought out the rock and wrestling era. It had been reported that Alberto Del Rio has an out clause in his WWE contract, which ends in September. And on last night's episode of Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer added that Del Rio is being pulled from all WWE appearances. So, I guess he's asked for his release. Both during and after his 30-day suspension ends, while not saying that Del Rio was done with the company, it was framed that way in the conversation. Del Rio and girlfriend Paige were both suspended back on August the 17th. A new report claimed that Alberto Del Rio is in fact done with WWE. Del Rio reportedly gave his notice to WWE through his lawyer around 60 days ago. Del Rio was reportedly frustrated with the company's lack of follow-through on promises given to him when he returned last summer. That included a main event push, but he was instead kept in the mid-card during the Mex America and League of Nations storylines. Del Rio then gave notice in late June, which was obviously before Del Rio's wellness violation suspension on August 17th. Del Rio is not expected to return to the company at all at this point, and after the end of September, he will be free to work anywhere in the United States. He is able to work internationally immediately. AJ Styles appeared on 105.3, The Fan from Dallas, Fort Worth this morning, being Tuesday morning. This is and here are the highlights from that interview on a rumored Rock versus Vin Diesel match at WrestleMania 33. That sounds like the craziest matchup ever. So we'll probably do it. On what celebrity he would like to face at WrestleMania? Since we're talking about actors, can we bring in Mark Wahlberg? I kind of want to match up with this guy and see where I'm at. Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch was a pretty big deal back in the day. I was a fan. WWE, that was the highlights for it. WWE has announced that the Headbangers will appear on SmackDown Live TV. And if you're not familiar with them, show you a picture of them there for you. Mosh and Thrasher. Mosh is a real name. Charles Warrington, 45. Thrasher, Glenn Ruth. Both guys are on my Facebook friends list. It seems like an odd move by WWE. But let's see what they have in mind. I asked them a question, but did not get any response. I didn't expect to, at least today. I kind of asked them if this is a permanent thing or just a one-time thing just to fill into the thing, into the tournament there. Well, you'll find out what happened in their match. WWE posted the video of NXT star Ember Moon in this video and new recruit Bianca Belair deadlifting 400 pounds, while NXT's Steve Cutler deadlifted 550 pounds during athletic testing at the WWE Performance Center in Orlando. Ring of Honor announced that they will be introducing new six-man titles. They didn't post any pictures of the belts, but the company will be holding an 8-team tournament beginning in September and concluding in October. Read the official announcement at ROHWrestling.com. ProWrestling.net members got the early word of the six-man tag titles being introduced by Ring of Honor in last night's edition when they were doing the Raw audio review. Total Wrestling Magazine interview with Chris Stratus. Interview available at totalwrestlingmagazine.co.uk. All right, this link here for you. And she comments on the Performance Center. Performance Center is an amazing addition to the WWE system. It's why we're getting more quality in-ring product, and it's why we're getting much more polished workers. They've all worked together. We've had promo classes, and it's why when you see new talent come out, like we have seen recently with Enzo Amore and Big Cass, they can make an impact right away versus needing some time to get seasoned. They came out, and I was like, yes. They were so entertaining, and it was because this wasn't their first rodeo. They worked in front of a crowd before. They had been primed to deliver on the big stage, and they just did that. Thoughts on WWE shifted mentality for recruiting talent. It takes more than just being able to wrestle to make it in WWE. You have to be a performer. These young guys come in on the main roster, now are performers. They are also great wrestlers and have developed amazing characters, and the crowd is connecting with them. I also think that it's advantageous to have people to have come from different organizations and independents to come in where they have good performance experience. It's always good to have a balance of new talent and veterans. And when I say new, I just mean new to the big leagues. When you're coming up on the main roster, there's no better way to learn from someone who's been in the business a long time. The debut of Enzo and Big Cass is a great example. They made an impact right away, and to pair them with seasoned performers such as the Dudleys was a perfect choice. That's how you book a debut. On SmackDown, now being aired live, there's nothing like a live show. That's why Raw was always known as the A show and SmackDown was known as the B show. When I was there with a live show, there's a feeling that anything can happen. Of course, the internet has changed anything with the way that we watch TV now. when the show is taped and you can read about it, it's missing that spontaneity and the element of surprise when you watch. It's really a good move, and it's exciting. When I was around, you were always glad you were on Raw, excited to be on live telecast. But also, it was a great challenge and a good learning tool to have the pressure to perform live with no editing to help your performance or audience reaction. You have to earn it. Beyond Wrestling results from Providence, Rhode Island at Aurora, Providence. Thanks to ProWrestling.net staffer Zach Zimmerman. Battle of New England. Drew Gullet pinned Dave Cole with a cradle sunset roll. Team Pazuzu of Jaka, Pinky Sanchez, Angel Ortiz, and Mike Drastic over Anthony Green, Big Daddy Beluga, Ace Romero, and Xavier Bell. Pazuzu won a fun match following a powerbomb neckbreaker stomp combo and a splash on stomp rope for good measure. Brian Milanos defeated JT Dunn. This was a hard-hitting match beforehand. Dunn said that if he lost against a mystery opponent, he would leave Beyond Wrestling. Milanos was in the ring to be referee, but after months of issues between the two, he answered the challenge after losing. Dunn cut a quick little farewell promo, putting over Milanos and Beyond. Battle of Who Could Care Less. David Starr defeated Eddie Edwards. This match was pretty stiff. It went about 30 minutes at a great pace before Starr got the win with a straight jacket German suplex. After the match, Joey Janela ran in and attacked Starr. He tried to kill him by suffocating him with a plastic bag, but Jonathan Gresham ran out to make the save. Gresham buried Janela as a backyarder and told him to get out of the pros ring. Anthony Stone and the Hoods of Chris Pyro and Davey Cash got to win over Brian Fury and the Hit Squad, Dan Mapp and Steve Mack. DHS had it won but lost when Nevaeh ran out for the Hoods and delivered a low blow. Nafisa won a four-way match over Jordan Grace, Nevaeh, and Veda Scott. Nafisa pinned Nevaeh with a burning hammer, which was a pretty much of a mess. Crusade for a Change of Darius Carter, TJ Marconi, Anthony Gangone, and Minutemen over Peter Casa, Freddie Yahi, Prince Apollo, Shinron, and Black Baron. The WWA4 team with Casa, Yahi, and Baron was very welcomed, unadvertised surprise. Crusade rolled on with a wheelbarrow DDT and wheelbarrow codebreaker sequence they called the public execution. Beyond advertised a return for October the 2nd from the Center for the Arts at the Armory in Somerville, Massachusetts. War Machine, Michael Elgin, and Ricochet will all be returning to Beyond on that show. Keith Lee pinned AR Fox with a sit-out powerbomb. This was a very fun, high-flying, high-impact match. Keith Lee was really burst onto the scene this year. Intermission, Chuck O'Neal submitted Dan Barry in about 2-minute match. Barry was particularly over for his appearance on Holy Foley, and he was funny about playing that up. But O'Neal buried him and said that he was on a more legit reality show, Ultimate Fighter, and he's more legit. Barry accidentally almost bumped the camera woman, and when he turned his back to check on her, Chuck sank in a rear choke and tapped him out. Jonathan Gresham defeated Tracy Williams by submission. Williams tapped out to a half crab from Gresham with a hammer strike to the head. Very nice technical mashup. After the match, Gresham challenged Joey Janela to step foot in a Beyond ring again against him. Matthew Riddle defeated Chris Dickinson. Brutally stiff match with an unfortunately flat finish. Chuck O'Neal ran in and jumped on the apron to distract Riddle, but it backfired, and Riddle's KO Dickinson with a roundhouse kick to the back of the head for the win. Afterwards, There was a pull-apart scrap between Riddle, O'Neill, and Dickinson's Pazuzu stablemate, Jaka. The rest of Pazuzu came out to calm things down and help Dickinson to the back. Your main event, Donovan Dijak pinned Tommy End after Feast Your Eyes. This was a very good match. It felt like it could have gone either way. It was going despite the unlikelihood of Beyond's ace losing to NXT bound guy. Afterwards, Dijak took a mic and told the story of how his Beyond match against Biff Busick got him interest from WXW. And when he went there, the guy who helped him acclimate to the new country was Tommy End. He said that Tommy End is one of the best wrestlers on the planet, and likewise one of the best human beings on the planet. They hugged before End left, and it looked like the show was wrapped when suddenly JT Dunn hit the ring and laid out Dijak with an elbow to the back of the head. Dunn said he's going to take over Beyond and shut it down. AAA Mania 24, results from Mexico City. Mexico, results courtesy of superluchas.com. Australian Suicide won the Triple Mania Cup by winning a match that included Hernandez, La Parca, El Hijo, Del Pirata Morgan, Superfly, Argenis, Pimpinella, Escarlata, El Guido, Taurus, and El Zorro. Fabi Apache and Mari Apache defeated Alberto and Chessman to a no contest. Well, if it's a no contest, how can you beat somebody? Drago and Aerostar defeated Jack Evans and Angelico, Paul London and Matt Cross. Yes, that's Matt Dog Cross. And Garza Jr. and El Hijo del Fantasma to win the AAA tag titles. Art Barr was inducted into the AAA Hall of Fame. Johnny Mundo, who no-showed the local Shreveport GeekCon event the entire weekend. Well, when you're booked for wrestling, you can't do 2 shows at one time. He went Friday night, Tuesday at the ring. No-showed Friday night. All day Saturday, he could have drove from New Orleans to come here. But he didn't. So much disappointing, Johnny. At least let us know that you're not going to make it. But I still have fun with my daughter. You go to Facebook, my Facebook account and see the photos of all the action. Even my daughter was in action. Supergirl versus Darth Vader. And Supergirl won. Well, Johnny Mundo defeated Pentagon Jr. to win the AAA Latin American title. Rey Mysterio, Prince Puma, and Azteca Dragon Jr. defeated Montaza, Mil Mortez, and Marty the Moth Martinez. Texano Jr. defeated Brian Cage and Dr. Wagner Jr. to retain the AAA Mega title. Psycho Clown defeated Pagano in a hair versus mask match and then shaved Pagano's hair afterwards. And that was the end of that results. Kurt Hawkins' recent promo video that happened on SmackDown. At this link for you. Even though Kurt Hawkins was backstage for SmackDown in Dallas, he didn't make his return on TV. The woman who played Heath Slater's significant other in the trailer segment, you go to this link and go to that link and you can see the difference between the woman that was in the video and his real wife. And it was not their actual trailer. Well, the woman that was with, there was no name given for the woman, but it was not his real wife. You can see the segment and photos of Slater's real wife on Twitter. Twitter link. Triple H received a tour of the new Dallas Cowboys world headquarters and practice facilities today. The star, while in town in Dallas, as he tweeted, and show you a picture there. Reported back in April, a former TNA wrestler, Crimson, was arrested after he was seen headbutting his wife in a hotel in Clarksville, Tennessee. Police found Crimson's wife bleeding from her nose and lip, but insisted everything was fine. Despite the couple's insisting nothing happened, police arrested Crimson and took him into custody. Well, those charges were recently dismissed and dropped, according to the following statement issued by a law office of Kimberly Turner and Associates, PLLC. Charges dismissed against Crimson. Clarksville, Tennessee, August 24th, 2016. Charges against Anthony Gregory Mayweather, also known as Crimson from TNA, have been dismissed by the Montgomery County District Attorney's Office. Mr. Mayweather was charged with domestic assault by the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office in April 2016. Mayweather's attorney, Kimberly Turner, secretly met with the District Attorney's Office to offer additional info for their consideration and following a discussion between Mrs. Turner and the DA's office. The charges against Mr. Mayweather was dismissed on July 22nd. Ms. Turner reports that this has been a very difficult time for the Mayweather family, and they are grateful to the Montgomery County District Attorney's Office for considering all of the information provided and promptly dismissing the charge against Anthony. All records of the charges for Mr. Mayweather has been expunged. Twitter link of the Hype Brothers advancing into the tournament. At this link, it happened on the SmackDown. And the next link, Slater and Rhyno advanced in the tag title tournament as well. And also the Gore finish. SmackDown pre-show at this link. WWE take the following matches for your spoilers for main event. There was 3 reports, but they all are brief. One just gave who was wrestling. Usos versus the Ascension. American Alpha versus Tyler Breeze and Breezango. Well, the results for that. Usos defeated the Ascension. American Alpha defeated Breezango. SmackDown opened up with a look back at last week's Talking Smack confrontation between SmackDown General Manager Daniel Bryan and Intercontinental Champion Miz. Bryan and Commissioner Shane McMahon are backstage. He believes Bryan owes The Miz an apology. Shane might agree with what he said, but he tells Bryan not to get in the face of talents anymore. Bryan says maybe he won't be so honest next time. He finds this advice ironic coming from the guy who has beef with Brock Lesnar. We go to SmackDown opening video. Well, Shane had a kind of look. Well, you got a point there too. We go to the ring. Out comes The Miz with Maurice. He's fired up and calls for the music to be cut. It took 149 days for everyone to take notice. He goes on and talks about bringing prestige back to the title. He says we don't see what goes on backstage. WWE calls him every time they need someone to do a movie, a TV appearance, an interview, or play a chicken. And that got the crowd going. He does it day in and day out, never being injured. Miz goes on and calls the fans cowards. Miz interrupts. The Miz interrupts, and out comes Dolph Ziggler. The music interrupts, and out comes Dolph Ziggler. Ziggler says Miz is making some points, but there's a reason that fans don't get behind him. They can see through his crap. Ziggler says Miz just wants to be famous, and that's why no one will believe him or in him. Ziggler goes on and issues a challenge. They get ready to fight, but Miz leaves the rings at the fans' booth. Ziggler takes the mic and says Bryan was right. Miz is a coward. Miz gets upset, but Maurice calms him down. Miz tries to come back to the ring, but Maurice stopped him, and Ziggler tries to get him into the ring, but he leaves with Maurice. Ziggler's music hits to end the segment. Still to come, Baron Corbin versus Dolph Ziggler. Also, Bray Wyatt has a sermon for Randy Orton, and the SmackDown Tag Team Title Tournament continues with the Hype Brothers versus Wild Villains. And we go to commercial break. SmackDown Tag Team Tournament matches up next. Hype Brothers versus Wild Villains. Back for the break, we go to the ring with Mauro Ranallo, JBL, and David Otunga. Greg Hamilton introduced Zack Ryder and Mojo Rawley. Simon Gotch and Aiden English were out next. We get the Wild Villains. And a video from earlier today was see the new SmackDown tag team titles at ringside. English starts off with Ryder as they go at it. Ryder with a drop kick and some offense in the corner. Gotch pulls English to safety, and Ryder goes for a drop kick through the ropes, but gets pulled out to the floor. Dropped on his knees, on his neck. English brings it back in the ring and keeps Ryder down. Gotch gets tagged in. They double team Ryder for a 2 count. Gotch with a fireman carry slam. English tags in and comes off the top rope. But Mojo gets a hot tag and unloads on both. Mojo with a big splash on English. Everyone gets involved until the Hype Brothers clean house. And Hype Ryder on English for the win. Hype Brothers advance. After the match, Ryder and Mojo celebrate. We go to replays. Charlie Caruso interviews them in the ring afterwards, and Ryder says there are a lot of good teams, but the hype train has left the station and is not coming back. Mojo says that they are here, and at Backlash, they're taking the titles because they don't get hype. They stay hype. AJ Styles backstage talking, still wearing John Cena's armband around his head. AJ walks up on Apollo Crews and disses him. Crews introduces himself, and AJ tells Crews he's the face that runs the place. Don't forget it. AJ walks off as we go to commercial. Back from the break, out comes AJ Styles. Hamilton informs us that AJ now wants to be introduced as the face that runs the place. Styles talks about how he beat John Cena and will next beat WWE Champion Dean Ambrose at Backlash. AJ is quickly interrupted by the music as Apollo Crews makes his way out to a pop. AJ yells for Crews' music to stop to be cut. AJ can't believe this. Crews went to Daniel Bryan and got permission to challenge AJ to a match that begins right now. Crews heads to the ring as AJ gets ready. Bell rings and AJ strikes first. AJ takes Crews to the corner and works him over. Crews with the kick as they run the rope. Crews with a drop kick. Crews pulls AJ to the floor and slams him to the apron. Crews drops him with the right hand and brags to the announcers. Crews brings AJ back into the ring as they go to commercial. Back from the break, they're going at it again. Crews takes control and hits a bunch of nice moves. Crews ends up hitting a moonsault from the apron. Crews brings it back into the ring and works over AJ. In the corner, Crews takes AJ up top, but AJ slides out and pulls him down. AJ with a big clothesline in the corner, and then AJ goes for a crossbody, but Crews catches him, sends him for a 2 count. AJ ends up snapping Crews' neck over the top rope, and then AJ nails the phenomenal forearm for the win. After the match, AJ stood tall as Crews rolls to the apron. We get replays and come back to AJ posing in the corner. So here comes Epic, Corbin versus Ambrose by the commercial. Back from the break, and the announcers are leading us to Renee Young visiting Heath Slater's home in West Virginia. It's a trailer, and Rhyno is there with him, his tag team partner. Slater introduces Renee to his wife, who is not his real wife, of course. She removes some fake flowers from the table and brings back some crackers with cheese, squeezed cheese. Not much in this segment. Slater says his kids are outside picking up cans and bottles. Doing the recycling thing, that kind of thing. He's going to upgrade to a double wide trailer once he and Rhyno win the titles. Rhyno makes some awkward eyes at Renee during the segment. Still to come, Slater versus Rhyno. Well, during that segment, Rhyno was the cheese and crackers saying, eating them up. Still to come segment, Slater and Rhyno versus Headbangers. And their comeback. Also, Bray Wyatt serving for the serpent. Back to commercial. Back from the break, Bray Wyatt's out. He speaks from the rocket chair in the middle of the ring, like he used to do. Cut a promo on Randy Orton, saying he's damaged from the Brock Lesnar fight. Wyatt says that the voices in Orton's head should be telling him to run, run, run. Orton's music hit. Now he comes to a pop. Orton says the the voices in his head are asking, who the hell is this guy he think he is? Orton says he's been damaged for a long time. It's part of his charm. Orton says Wyatt has his attention. Wyatt says Orton is no longer the predator in this situation. He's damaged and weak. Wyatt declares himself the predator now. It's a fans boo. Wyatt says he's going to cut the head off the serpent at Backlash and put it on his mantle like the trophy Orton is. Orton said he's played this game with many people over the years, and he's still standing. Orton accepts the challenge for Backlash, and you get a laughing, smiling Wyatt. And he comments on how he's not afraid of Wyatt, not afraid of kicking his ass. Right now, Orton heads to the ring, but the lights go out, and they cut to commercial. But before they go to commercial, still comes segment, Alexa Bliss, and Natalya versus Naomi and Becky Lynch. I took a bathroom break during this one. Come back. Well, Naomi and Becky Lynch versus Alexa Bliss and Natalya. Back for the break. Nikki is out for commentary. We see Carmella beating her up from last week. Natalya is out first for her team, followed by Alexa. Naomi is out next, followed by Becky. Back and forth to start. We go to commercial with Bliss and Natalya regrouping on the floor. Back for the break. Natalya is in control of Naomi as fans rally behind Becky. Becky tries to get involved, but the referee stops her. Bliss comes in for some double teaming as they keep Naomi grounded in her corner. Natalya draws boos as Bliss works Naomi over on the ropes. Naomi finally fights free and decks both opponents. Bliss still stops her from tagging and unloads with right hands. Becky finally gets a hot tag and unloads on Bliss. Becky with a flying forearm in the corner. They trade shots and counters. Becky goes up top for a missile drop kick, but Bliss kicks out at 2 count as Natalya broke the pin up. Naomi took Natalya to the floor. Carmella attacked Nikki on the commentary. Nikki rammed her into the apron, but Carmella kicks her and sends her into the barrier. Bliss took advantage of the distract Becky and rolled her up for the win. Further match, Natalya and Alexa. After the match, Carmella steps on Nikki and stands on top of the barricade to pose. And we go to replays. Come back to Naomi and Becky checking on Nikki. We get a video package on the headbangers. Still to come, Marsha Thatcher versus Slater and Rhyno. Figure out a tag team name for their name. We call it Slino. Or we call it Schrader. We're just teasing on that. You can comment anyways. Back to commercial. Back from the break. We get a new victim for Kurt Hawkins, who will be returning to WWE soon. Tag team title tournament match. Headbangers versus Rhyno and Slater. Back from the break, out comes Marsha Thrasher. Headbangers in their kilt gear, making their WWE returns. Slater, and Rhyno were out next. Slater and Mosh go out to start. Mosh with a springboard shot early on. Thatcher comes in and they double team Slater. Slater fights back, but gets back dropped. Thatcher keeps control, and Mosh comes back. Comes Mosh again. They double team Slater again, and Rhyno tries to rally the crowd. Mosh gets a 2 count. Headbangers end up hitting a nice double team move for a close 2 count on Slater as Rhyno makes a save. Rhyno pulls Slater to the corner, tags himself in, and gores Thrasher for the win. And they advance to the in the tournament. After the match, Rhyno, Slater, stand tall as we go to replays. We go to look back at the brackets as we see the winners looking at the titles on display at ringside. Still to come segment, Ambrose versus Corbin. Back to commercial. Well, we get somebody in the middle of the ring calling himself Gary the Milkman Millman. My mommy was like, who the heck is that? He has a microphone. No clue who the guy is. He's been granted a license to wrestle, but tonight, no one in the back wants to get in the ring with him. Eric says he's not leaving the ring until the competitor comes out and gets some from him. Well, then he starts undressing. He gets down to the whitey tighties. And there's nothing but his socks. Well, his opponent is none other than Kane. As the power goes off, out he comes, making it to the ring. And Gary the Milkman Millman trying to put his pants back on. And then comes Kane, delivers a chokeslam with no referee, makes his exit. Nothing more than that. Baron Corbin versus Dean Ambrose. Corbin's music hits as Kane was making his exit. No competition, just the two tall guys. The cross pass, Corbin enters the ring. Ambrose was out next for this non-title match. They lock up and Ambrose applies a headlock. Corbin drops him with a shoulder and turns it around. Corbin beats Ambrose around and takes his time. This is actually a decent match. Ambrose runs the ropes and takes Corbin down, nailing him with strikes. Ambrose sends Corbin to the floor and clotheslines him from the apron. Ambrose slams Corbin in front of AJ after the announcer's table. Yeah, AJ was at ringside for the match with the announcer's table. Ambrose brings him back inside the ring, but turns his attention to AJ. Corbin comes from behind, but Ambrose drops his neck over the ropes. Ambrose with a drop kick from the corner. Corbin blocks the bulldog and nails a lariat from behind. Corbin pounds on Ambrose now. Corbin sends Ambrose to the floor and stands tall as we go commercial. Back from a break, Corbin is still in control after sending Ambrose into the steel steps during a break. Corbin with more offense as the referees has to warn him. Ambrose tries to fight back and eventually catches Corbin in a neck breaker. More back and forth. Corbin blocks Dirty Deeds but then runs into the ring post for a 2 count. Corbin floors Ambrose with a clothesline. They trade shots. Ambrose with a bounce back clothesline for a 2 count. Ambrose goes up top, but Corbin cuts him off. Referee warns Corbin again. Corbin climbs up for the superplex, but Ambrose fights him. Ambrose sends Corbin to the mat, and then it gets pulls down the top rope. Sending him to the floor, Ambrose runs the ropes and nails a dive, sending Corbin into the barrier. Ambrose brings him back in the ring, but Corbin catches him in a deep 6 for a 2 count. Corbin and AJ end up having words at ringside. They come face to face. Ambrose nails Corbin from behind and brings him back in the ring. Ambrose with a big elbow drop for a 2 count. Styles gets on the apron for a distraction and dodges a shot from Ambrose. Corbin rolls Ambrose up for a 2 count. Corbin blocks Dirty Deeds and runs Ambrose into AJ on the apron. Referee calls for the belt for the disqualification. After the bell, Ambrose leaps off the apron and nails AJ. Styles launches him over the announcer's table. Ambrose comes right back, but Corbin nails him from behind. Corbin brings Ambrose in the ring, but eats Dirty Deeds. AJ goes to springboard in, but Ambrose is well aware of AJ on the ropes. Crotches him, leaves him there, perched on the top rope. As his legs ain't long enough to reach the floor, he's got him on the bottom rope and crotched on the top rope. Ambrose shakes the top rope, then shakes AJ's hand. He's handed he is handed the WWE title as fans cheer as AJ is still left sitting on the bottom on the top rope crotched. Ambrose leaves with the title as the music hits. SmackDown goes off the air with AJ still dangling, bouncing on the ring rope, on the top rope. After the SmackDown went off the air, John Cena teamed with Raw star Roman Reigns to face Bray Wyatt and Raw Seth Rollins. The finish of the match says Reigns nailed Rollins with a spear to get the victory for his team. Show you a picture and the video link on Twitter. Only to finish with where the spear is worth the 8 seconds here? Just ask yourself. You go to that link because it's only 8 seconds? Well, nothing but the spear. As seen on episode of SmackDown, Rhyno was busted open during his tag team match with the Heath Slater against the Headbangers. Rhyno received 8 stitches after the match from WWE's medical staff. Following SmackDown, WWE crew is getting some rare time off until next week's TV tapings live event, as there are no live events scheduled this weekend. Thanks again. Peace out. See you all. That concludes my video for spoilers, and if you don't know, just comment, brothers and sisters.